I hate that it's like, oh, well, they're living. You're going to regret when they're dead. I'm regretting them while I'm alive. That's not a good
Well, no, his
argument.
point is that his dad's dead, so he can't get into a fight with his dad.
Yeah, but still, it's the kind of argument. It's like, oh, you should appreciate what your father did, even though it was an asshole move.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are here with another episode of Legends of the Galactic Heroes Gaiden 1999 edition. Yeah, I literally had to go through the whole Rolodex of names of shows that we watch here. By the way, kids in these days are really gonna know what a Rolodex is. If you had to keep phone numbers, by the way, and addresses, you keep it a little turntile thing. Anyway, look it up in your card catalog. Something else kids won't know.
Still pretty useful if you have them. Yeah.
If you have them, sure, but the people aren't going to know the Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah.
To be young and burping in people's faces. Conversations that I've had recently that make me know that I'm old. Someone literally said, "Why is burping acceptable but farting's not?" And I'm like, "Burping's not acceptable. Stop." You're supposed to cover your mouth and say, "Pardon me," or something.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Anyway, first up, though, we have some comments before I continue on to nonsense. Brilliant Planets says, from the episode The Hero of El Facile, D&T is not finished. They're not at an accelerated pace, they just haven't adapted everything. Yes, OVA is better on so many fronts.
Okay.
Disagree. D&T, well, I'm not disagreeing that D&T is not finished. It is an accelerated pace, though. I mean, I watched 2 seasons of it. And also, everybody else agrees it's accelerated. Alright, next up, Heaven 72 from The Man Loved by the Goddess of Time. It's been so long since I last watched the OVA that I didn't remember Bukak showing up.
Okay.
Well, you have no context for that, but I did point it out before. Also, he makes 2 changes on the board, because he shows up as the young guy at a lower rank, and then we see him in a later episode that he's a Commodore, I believe, serving some system that we've never seen or been to before. Just know he's a character. And lastly, we have Carnus 4 from A Short Trip to the Past. The lossiness of the recording I'd attribute to both distance, and this would be recorded on a VHS on a bunny-eared TV. I can't imagine how expensive it'd be to run a cable TV between the Empire and the Alliance's space. Unless that's how the war started. Someone in the Empire noticed that someone was stealing cable, so he followed the cable till he discovered the Free Planets Alliance. It's possible that humanity only considered worlds habitable if it is winter in December, and settled in the regions of those planets where it is 12 o'clock, when it's 12 o'clock Greenwich mean time. This would greatly limit the amount of available living space in the galaxy. However, it opens up the possibility to launching a night attack on the sun.
Yeah.
You can see that the majority of this comment is eiyuu.
Yeah, well. I mean, it seems that way because that's what the show shows, that it's fall and it's October. It's like you're a different planet, right? It could be October, but why would it be fall? Right? That's the issue.
Terraforming?
The whole I mean, no, because we're talking about rotational speeds and position of the light hitting the planet from the specific star in which they are.
Yeah, terraforming.
That wouldn't be terraform. You can't terraform that away.
Actually. One of my favorite sci-fi series is the Mars trilogy, and in that the idea of orbital mirrors is a large concern. because one, they're going to use it to warm up the surface of Mars, but then they're also going to use it to deflect sunlight away from Venus. So the idea that you could have rotational mirrors in orbit over planets to affect seasons, essentially.
Yeah, but also, okay, well, I suppose if you put because the way it works on Earth is because Earth wobbles, right?
Well, it's
It's
not
not
even that.
simply
Actually,
spinning.
on Earth, it's also about the fact that our orbit isn't exactly, it's not what you see in like the models. It's actually more like oblong, egg-shaped. We're further
Like,
away from
yeah,
the
right,
sun in winter and closer in summer. Actually, I think it's reversed from that. It's the weird
yeah,
Iceland, Greenland thing. I'm not naming those countries. I'm just saying the weird, unexpected thing of being actually closer in summer. I mean, closer in winter and further away in summer. Something like that. Anyway, yeah, it's not all 100% to do with how much sunlight we get. It's also the distance away from the sun. But again, either of those things can be modified with space mirrors.
But why would you go through the trouble of synchronizing it with a planet that doesn't even get mentioned in this series?
Just because it's not important to us doesn't mean it's not important to the universe.
I guess.
Like, I mean,
Everybody has to be in the
we
same
spent
clone.
more time. Did we spend? Sorry, it feels like we spent more time off of Heinesen, but we might have been. Well, no, yeah, because we spent a lot of time on El Facile and then Iconia. So I don't know exactly how much time we've spent on Heinesen. But Heineken is the capital, right? Just because Heineken's important in the world doesn't mean it's important to us as the story receivers. I don't know what to call us. So yeah, you're asking why? Well, I don't know. We went to a prison planet that was supposed to be built to house 100,000 people, and they didn't finish. But it was very clearly a big construction project. It's not the kind of universe that only has a couple of habitable planets and we know them all. This is a big old galaxy, and
yeah, I suppose so.
yeah. So I'm just saying, I don't think the importance of the planet or the importance of a planet in a narrative matters to how much development that it has.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, from a narrative perspective, it's just a shorthand, right?
Why would
There's
they
certain
build the galaxy's biggest super weapon over a nameless forest moon?
yeah, which is not Endor, by the way.
Endor's the gas giant.
Exactly. We were like, no, it's Endor. It's like, no, it's the Battle of Endor is his name.
If you're landing
It's the
on Endor,
moon.
you're dying.
Yeah, it's the moon of Endor. We never see the gas giant.
Well, we do actually. It's in the background.
No, we don't. No, it's a little. The only thing is that Sibo's made a tiny
Also,
little
well,
speck.
actually, yeah, you see it on the targeting. No, wait, I'm thinking
just
of
Yavin 4.
yeah, I'm thinking which is also around a gas giant.
Oh, and a forest moon, or at least the part we see anyway.
Yeah, well, it's a moon that has a forest, arguably.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of Sith tombs.
Yeah, well, that's expanded universe, which is, I guess, now canon.
Well, I think it's not canon. They've abandoned the expanded universe. I mean, again, they've expanded the expanded universe.
Anyway, I'm not gonna. That's a whole video that I have to make about canonicity. But anyway, yeah, people's like, oh, the Battle of Endor. It's like, yes, it's shorthand, but that's a molehill I will die on. It is not in Endor. They're not battling on Endor. It's just after the fact it got. In fact, in the movie,
well, technically they're battling the Endor gravity well because the Endor's gravity well would be stronger than its moon's gravity well.
Yeah, well, it depends on proximity.
But then you should probably name it after the system, which is itself named after the star, which would be its biggest gravity well.
So I think that was named the Battle of Endor after the fact. Like, oh, it's just Endor. But the names that they use is Forest. They don't even call it. They call it the Forest Moon of Endor, or they call it Sanctuary Moon. but they don't call it Endor itself. So that's a
That's probably just good shorthand. I mean,
yeah,
the Battle of the Forest Moon of Endor is,
well,
and then
Battle
people would be
Sanctuary
asking,
Moon.
then we'd be having a conversation. What's the name of the Forest Moon of Endor?
Sanctuary Moon.
Yeah, so I'm saying there's less people know that because it's not in the narrative.
Oh, it is. They do mention it.
No, it's not in the narrative of the naming convention that we're using.
Okay, yeah, but they do mention it. But anyway, that's just a molehill I will die on. That the Battle of Endor didn't actually happen on Endor.
Oh, you're a Endor denier.
No, because they're not an Endor.
No, you literally the voice snippet. This is like a news, like intergalactic news. The Battle of Endor didn't happen, is what I would just clip out from that. Lessons Endor denier.
Yeah.
Sorry, you have a black screen. I'm just thinking, well, can I green screen this to like a clip?
Like a Death Star behind me or something? Like
No, it's like a podium, maybe like right here in front of you, with like just a gray background because Imperial news thing.
Yeah,
Battle of Endor didn't happen.
No defeated Endor.
Literally
because there was no Endor.
It's a 2-second clip. It's a 2-second clip of you saying Battle of Endor didn't happen. Just a little news thing going underneath you. Anyway, those are the comments. I guess first off, let's go over to the board before we pop into thoughts.
Oh, you have now a legend. POW arrested, affected, not in own territory.
Only for ones with backgrounds on them. Sorry, it took me forever to scroll all the way down my tower. I could not think, because you see where it says not in own territory.
Mm-hmm.
I could not think of a word or a series of words that described what I was going for here. Because I was trying to think of Kristoff. Or essentially people that are prisoners that are let, or POW even, prisoners of war that are let go, but still live in their captor's territory of their own volition. Because the closest thing I could think of was resident alien, but I don't think that works for as a broad term. I mean, it is a broad term, but I don't think it works for what I was going for.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, those aren't like describing what the line colors mean. Those are just for certain people. I mean, specifically anything you were pointing out here?
Oh, so put borders around the picture. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, like Pressburg.
Yeah.
He is a prisoner. Because otherwise I would drag them over to here, but that would imply that they were Alliance side. That wouldn't make much sense. Remember, I'm also looking for you to say stuff here on the board.
I mean, it's such a big board. I'm trying to cover everything, and there's really nothing. Well, let me see. Okay, Martin Autobahn.
You're about to say there's nothing new that I am going to curse your name.
Martin Autobahn Psychmeister? What is this?
Where?
Under High Admiral.
Okay, I would say the fucking board is so big, I don't know where you're looking. I have to zoom in so much. Actually, no, he's an admiral. It works up, not down.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. On first glance, that appears to be Martin Otto von Siegmeister. So I don't understand your question still.
Where does he pop up in the story that now you have him as a question mark? Does he get mentioned? I don't remember.
You don't remember Siegmeister?
No.
The Siegmeister? Sorry, I had to say that at least once. No, I'm serious though. You don't remember Siegmeister? He's literally a major part of the story so far.
Because I know Koso. Was it Koso?
Wow, the fact that you remember Koso, but you don't remember Siegmeister is problem. It's a problem. Siegmeister is one of the 3 pivots of our mystery right now.
Oh, wait. He's the one he defected earlier.
Yes.
Supposedly. Okay. Because he's here, but because I was pacing them part of the battle of the second battle of Tiamat. It's like, well, he wasn't there. So,
nope. As far as we know, We've never listed him at any battle. We've also
And
never listed
Wilhelm,
him as dead. Technically, I have him as a question mark because Christoph says that if he's still alive, he's over 100, which isn't impossible.
because I know Wilhelm von Muckenberger is the whole thing with the uncle, and
Burger.
that's why. Yeah,
Not a beggar. He's a burger.
yeah. The whole thing about the battle team, the second battle team, I said they wanted to kill. What's his name? So many names.
Ashby. Bruce Ashby.
Ashby, yeah. Bruce Ashby, yeah.
You're saying so many names. We're going to get a lot more. These are just background names. But I still have them up here. So... So that you didn't remember Siegmeister. One, it's an awesome name, worthy of being remembered. And two, it's one of the 3 pillars of the mystery.
Okay, this guy's name is Sidney Dithole.
Yes.
I think an H is missing somewhere.
No, it's Dithole.
Yeah, I know.
Also, it's a joke that we made literally when he showed up.
Yeah. Again, so many characters. Yes, I know people are like, "Oh my god!" When you go to the main character, means there'll be even more characters. I know that this show is.
What are you talking about? That's the voice I'm making right now to you. This is coming. This is coming eternally, lessons.
I know that the show is known for having oodles of characters. So
right, it's just that you. Sorry, it's the fact that you started questioning one of our primary mystery elements. You might have been said, "Who's this guy named Yang?"
I mean, no, it's just again, it's been a couple of weeks since I watched this anyway. So
yeah, same.
So
I'll be honest, though, not same for me. Actually, I watched it just yesterday. I've been taking my notes the day before. It helps me remember. I mean, anyone else you want to point out here? I was kind of hoping for more in-depth on the world, but the fact you couldn't remember Siegmeister is like dashing those hopes.
Okay. Christoph von Michelson. No, wait.
I'd also not wager any importance about where my mouse currently is. It's just where I'm dragging shit around.
No, but this is important because this comes from the report. Is this the report or this is the picture of the book that Wengling opens to the history? Because we know that what's his name who died? Christoph. He was being assessed by the Imperial Intelligence, I guess, Imperial Naval Intelligence, about who he worked with or he worked under, which was Kosel. No, actually, he was asked by Kosel about Siegmeister and whether he could be trusted or not. Basically, it's like, oh, I'm a junior officer. I shouldn't know anything about this. But then, it's like, oh, no problem. Go on your way. And then he was in a the second battle Tiamat, and he got captured, et cetera.
Michelson didn't work for Kosel. Christoph worked for Kosel, and Christoph worked with Michelson. Kosel was investigating Michelson.
Exactly.
Michelson didn't get captured. I guess you were talking about Christoph?
No, Christoph got captured.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said, I guess you were talking about, I was asking you what you were talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about Christoph, because there was the meeting at the office.
Michelson's name was also Christoph.
Yeah. Christoph von Kuffenhiller. He was being interviewed before the battle, the second battle Tiamat, in an office that looked like it was in a moon somewhere or an asteroid. I love when they have these offices who have these windows, and it's like the other side is just space. Like you expect it to be like a factory or somewhere where this air is like oh, the only thing between you and outer space is this window, right? So if it
Probably a
breaks,
morale thing, I assume.
yeah,
That you
yeah.
don't
So
want
it
to be
breaks,
like submarined, right?
yeah. But you know, you gotta have smaller windows, I guess. Anyway, not important point. I just love that fact.
Well,
Like,
to be
oh yeah,
fair,
this,
if a micrometeorite comes smashing in, it's just as likely to rip through the metal hull as it is
a window,
probably
yeah,
a stronger than metal window, whatever it is.
yeah,
Whatever it is.
yeah. But you know, he was having that interview, like, oh, do you know who this person? You work with this person, and this person's like, oh yes, I did. And it was alluded to the fact that there was a security risk there. But then Christoph says, well, I don't know anything about that. So he got dismissed. Then Christoph is a captain. He was a captain at that time. Yeah, he was a captain. Uh, the ship gets damaged. He watches his commander die. And then he gets captured. So there's that. So anyone else added to the board that I want to talk about? Well, where's the investigator? He was a commander, right, Commodore? Did you add him?
Well, I mean, you can check all the lines. Do you remember anybody else associated with this? The whole web network of subway tunnels that I've built should connect you from one person to another.
Yeah, but I'm on the Alliance and the Alliance side
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
aware.
So,
The rules apply to the Alliance just like they do to the Empire.
well, Murai was the investigator, if I remember correctly.
Right, like I said, if you go to Gang, oh, I remember
Yeah,
Gang was talking to an investigator. One of these lines must go to him. Or,
but which one?
go back up to Castea, who is the guy who's being investigated. Those lines must go to him too, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of lines here.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Go to somebody with less lines. Castea only has 4 lines coming off of him. Surely one of them goes to the guy investigating him.
So Murai is the one who then, so he's here. He's the one that calls out actually, it doesn't call out Wenli. He actually calls out Wenli and Patrovich for lying, or at least allowing Patrovich to lie to him. But he does the official, non-official reprimand thing, whatever that means. And he's also the one that arranges for Christoph to be released, right? And then later on, that's what happens in there in the spaceport, spaceport. And on the way to a wedding that has already passed, I guess.
Nope.
Uh,
It hasn't passed.
yeah, but it was New Year's, and I think the wedding was supposed to be in December, or was supposed to be in January.
I'll dip into my thoughts here. We were also going on about Gang missing Alex's wedding for no reason. December was when Alfred Rosas was getting his double promotion to Fleet Admiral post-mortem, not Alex's wedding. Alex never gives a date, just says not to miss it.
Okay. So they're in the airport. They start drinking beer, and Christoph, tells his last bit of his story, what he believes, what's happening, and then he dies. So I guess nobody else is important to be added here that I remember.
I was about to say, somehow, even though we've stopped doing recaps, you've pivoted the board into a recap. See, basically, you've said the entire last episode.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember where all these people fit in and whether that I missed somebody or not. Which I think I haven't. Not really.
I mean, you haven't mentioned Steckel at all. We don't even know if that guy's alive or dead. Just to save some dead air, I am not saying that purely as a joke, but he's also not an Alliance member, so don't follow my hand around. It's going nowhere.
Okay. This is your board. I thought you knew what the hell you were doing.
Clearly
name.
I don't know what I'm doing. That's why the board is a fucking tower. but also
Oh yeah, Sego. Well, the implication was that he did die.
no, it's
Sego,
not the
Sego was
implication at
the
all.
one
He
who
was
he gave the order to the captain. You tell them that we surrender. So either he was
right.
incapacitated or
No, he
dead,
wasn't incapacitated. It's literally what he was. The only time we saw him is that image.
and he wasn't in the prison with them.
Because everyone captain level or lower was at that prison.
So there's a no.
Everyone above captain got sent somewhere else. Yeah, it's like the thing Christoph says in his memory.
Uh-huh.
So similarly,
Yeah.
this guy could be somewhere in a higher
Else.
value place.
And he's a rear admiral.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Could be. I don't think it's going to be important to this.
Unknown.
Yeah.
For all we know, considering we're in background material, Steckel could be a major player in the real show. That's the problem. Like Bocock, I am. Oh, that wasn't a zoom in like I hoped it would be. There we go. Bocock is a major character in the show. I know this. I've brought it up before. He has been a transient background character in this show, in that he got mentioned in a background thing once as a guy who ran out of ammunition on a ship.
Yeah.
And then as a this is Commodore, right? Yeah, Commodore of some system that we've never seen or been to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, if you're indicating you got nothing else, let's
No.
hop into thoughts then.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is that we have 2 episodes left of this run. Then we're gonna go to the other 4 episodes, which are before this.
No,
Just, the first season is after this.
no, I'm
Timeline one.
correcting you on the when things are happening. We're doing this in chronological order, so obviously the next 4 episodes aren't going to be before this, or we would have watched them first.
Okay, so they're after this, but they're in the first season.
They're either after it or concurrent to it.
So, but they're the first.
No, they're not in the first. Well, here's the problem: is that what you're saying is right, but I know what you mean, and what you mean is wrong. They're not in the first season of the show. They're in the first season of Gaiden, which is after the show as side content.
Yeah, but we're watching Gaiden right now, so that's the show I'm talking about.
Well, we're watching Legends of Galactic Heroes. You got to be very specific.
Yeah.
As Jack Reacher once said, details matter.
Anyway, where was it?
Getting us all confused about chronology is what you were up to.
Yeah, my mind went somewhere and then took out the train and never came back to the station.
You were indicating to us that we were finishing up this 14 episode run and then going back
there's 2 episodes.
Season,
2 episodes, yeah.
Or
so
technically going back a year from 1999 to 1998 to 4 episodes.
The thing about this is that I don't think I'm interested in this in the mystery anymore, because I don't think ultimately the mystery of what really happened is not that important anymore. I think this is just a framing device to show us who would be the people around Wangling when we meet him again in the main series. Like, oh, hey, remember who is this person as well? They met this way. Well, he was investigating this. Or this is the person this is a woman that he fell in love with, but also his friend fell in love with, and this awkward situation in the spaceport. Oh, this other young woman was there when he became the hero of El Facil. That's why he's now a Commodore or an Admiral, whatever he's right now. Yeah. When people mention in the main show, oh, you remember you're the hero of El Facil. It's like, oh, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that we have from this, right? In other words, I don't think ultimately who killed whom is important. And in fact, Wingling has been like, well, even if I find out, I'm of a mind of not telling anybody because I don't want to ruin these people's reputations, right? So my thought is like, we kind of wasted a lot of time with this framing device that I feel may not go anywhere. At least as far as I know. We still have 2 episodes to go, so I could be wrong, right? It could be like the first thing that happens is like, oh, by the way, I figure who it is. It's this person. And oh my God, it's a great scandal.
I mean,
but I don't think
I've
so.
already stated my worry that we are going to not have it all figured out by the next 2 episodes, and we're going to go into the 4-episode run, and we're going to get it from the Empire side and try and figure it out over there. They're going to be like, who killed Bruce Ashby? Like, fuck!
But if in this particular show, in Gaiden, this is the 2nd season, then that means that they used this year before to set up the mystery, and then we
No,
move
not
here.
necessarily. I understand what you're saying, but these are side stories as far as I know, so they can be entirely self-contained. This could be an anthology of stories.
Yeah, that too.
Because obviously they wouldn't... I don't think that makes sense either, because we're watching this in chronological order, as I've said, which means why would they set up in the first season this mystery to then go back in time to solve it?
Yeah.
We're not going to back to future the mystery.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. And I think that ultimately, I think what the mystery is just, as far as I feel right now, in 5 minutes, I could be wrong, or in an hour or 2, whatever, or a couple of days or weeks, whenever you see this. But I feel that the mystery is not important aside from it being a framing device to how we got here. How we start the series, and I do know that Wei Ling is at least has a combat command in the main show, and becomes a bigger strategist and becomes this big figure, right? That is much I know about Wei Ling, right? But it's like, oh yeah, this might have happened. Thing that happened, I guess. So I don't feel, because otherwise I think we would have gone quicker to resolution. Instead, we were like, oh yeah, remember that thing we're being dealing with? Yeah, something that might have happened there at one point or another, but not that important.
We're world building is what I think we're doing. Because obviously we brought up a lot of things about how this universe works, like what the politics are, the political mechanisms, questions about certain organizations. We've built an animosity between 2 families. We've indicated to the forming of the Free Planets Alliance. We've done a lot of setup, which I feel will pay off in the greater story, even if the narrative that guided the setup, i.e. the murder mystery itself, doesn't resolve or matter. I don't know. Just pretend we're falling into a star, and the next episode it won't matter.
Yeah, I guess so.
Those are all your thoughts?
Yeah, those are my thoughts, such as they are.
All right, I've got a bunch of written out thoughts here. Yang's identification card states that he has black eyes. Just to note, that's impossible. It also says he has black hair, which could be arguable. Sometimes it looks blue, which is unnatural, but not always in anime. It also shows that he's 5'6" tall, so Fedor might not be a giant, as Yang is rather short. That might also just be a me perspective thing. I don't know. How tall are you?
5'10".
Okay, I'm 6 foot.
Yeah. 5'11" on boots, so yeah.
I think I'm 6'1" in boots. Work boots, anyway. I don't know. I also hit 6 foot pretty early in my life, so people quickly became short to me. I'm going to be disappointed if the mystery of Bruce Ashby was that there was never a mystery. That Kristoff was just sending the letters as a red herring to try and draw attention towards the whole Mikkelsen and Siegmeister thing. I'm still going to keep with my Bruce was a Siegmeister theory for now, just in the interest of there being a mystery at all. Yang's own theory is that Imperial intelligence plotted the murder and planted suspicion in the Alliance that its own politicians were against him as a threat to the government. Just as a recap of what the running theory is in show. Nothing, huh? I thought that would at least get you.
I mean, it's a I think we talked about it. It's a plausible theory.
Not
And
my theory, Yang's theory. I'm going back over Yang's theory.
Yang kind of fits it's being more streamlined and to the point, right? The less moving parts a theory has, the more likely it is.
I mean, technically, my theory is the Occam's razor one, which is to say it has one moving part. Yang's theory requires a lot of people to keep a secret.
I mean, it depends on whether or not the Alliance figured out that that this is an Imperial intelligence operation.
It is the moon landing conspiracy, right? The argument moon landing conspiracists would make is that the entire U.S. government is capable of keeping a major secret. I guess my version of that would be one guy shot the moon landing in his garage. Well, because mine has one moving part versus Gang's theory requires a lot of people to keep a secret. So one is the entire government put this up. But I mean, I need one moving part, so one moving part is a guy shot it by himself.
Well, no, because again, if I didn't say that the Alliance knew about it, I said they didn't know about this, then they wouldn't be a secret to keep.
Right? Yang's theory was Imperial intelligence planted suspicion, blah, blah, blah. Well, the problem is that I guess I didn't write it anywhere here, but the implication would be that Siegmeister is on this end giving the intelligence. He's receiving it from Michelson, so somebody over here has to know. Otherwise, how is he getting it to Bruce?
I mean, it's just require one intermediary, maybe two at most.
Well, he's got to get it to Bruce while he's in the middle of a battle. There's not going to be any like civilian intermediaries.
I mean, if he's being integrated into the intelligence service as an asset, you know, we don't know if he's alive or anywhere else. Also, if it's his father, then how? Oh yeah, I'm gonna call my son in the middle of a battle. It's like, hey, son, are you doing okay? Yeah. How you doing, son?
You're saying that as a joke, but it has a higher plausibility level to me than most things. Also, I wasn't he's a Siegmeister theory only plays into like he taught him Imperial training. It doesn't attach him to like any intelligence network or anything.
Yeah.
I'll also note that I have a further down thought that like dismisses my whole he's a Siegmeister theory offhand too, so I've already abandoned it in my own note writing. So, fourth mention of Pheasant in the last couple of episodes. It's where a bunch of Imperial information comes from in regards to the Alliance. Miriam Rose's fiancé is from there. Kostea has all his embezzled funds there. And Kristoff had belongings of dead soldiers sent through it.
So Pheasant is a planet, right? Location.
I just told you all the information. Here's the problem: is I know what Pheasant is from DNT, so I'm feeding you the information that the show has given us. Though that is all the context that this run so far has told us about Pheasant. So kind of just like letting you try to figure it out.
Seems either like a planning organization or both. Both at the same time. Pheasant is Pheasant, right? Pheasant isn't Pheasant, right?
Well, I mean, so far it has the same read as is it the Cayman Islands? Is that where people put all their money?
Yeah, the different offshore accounts.
I guess offshore account is just a better broad term. In that all of those things kind of fit in the same realm as if you refer to like I have an offshore thing.
So it's a place. It has a place that maybe has a headquarters also.
I'm not telling you anything. I'm just saying that all of those things that I just said kind of fit in that kind of realm. I'm thinking about it independently of my knowledge.
I mean, because you say the Cayman Islands, I've been to the Cayman Islands. So it's a literal place. Right?
Oh, I know.
It's like, yeah.
I didn't think it was
yeah.
like made up like the Queen of England or anything.
Yes, yeah.
I've been to the Queen of England. It's a big place. Anyway, bigger now. In the background of the scene where Costea is getting charged and arrested, you can see Bowie with a shocked look on his face. So may not have been as in on it as he seemed to be. I mean, also he didn't get charged, so
Yeah.
it just more specifically, he was in the room when everybody was implying that Yang should substitute himself in. Costea got arrested, and last we saw he was going to court-martial. I gave him a red outline. I guess actually I've given him an orange outline now to represent that he had been arrested, since I don't know his current status.
I guess he's gonna end up in another prison somewhere else.
Well, in D&T, when I had made the board there, I had just taken everybody that got arrested or anything and just put them like on the very bottom, like below civilians. But since I that also like gets rid of any recognition of the fact that they had a former rank, which seems like it can be important. Like Christoph here was a former captain, so that when he gets released, he's given what's the word? Was it pension?
Yeah, he was given a pension as if it were the government, which is interesting. They gave a POW a pension to live off, I guess.
Yeah, I just thought it was an R word for some reason. I might just be taking retirement.
Retirement, yeah, retirement.
I mean, I know it is pension as he would get paid in, but for some reason I thought it was R word back in my head. Anyway, he got it at a captain's rank because that's what he was. So remembering that he was a captain can be important to some degree. That's why I said before that I'm failing at this board thing, only because I don't know. I'm trying to keep some information representational visually without knowing which information is more important. Is it more important to know he's a prisoner, or is it more important to know that he was a captain?
Or a nobleman who wanted to stay alive in order to spite his wife, so she couldn't remarry.
Which doesn't make much sense to me either way. Because I don't think they're much spited by it. They already had a kid while you were there, so...
Yeah.
Or not while you were there, but the reason why you then joined the service because you wanted to die is that they had a kid. So clearly, they're living their life. They're not paused because of you. I guess I should have posted this to you before we even went to the board. Points of interest: murder of Bruce Ashby, defection of Admiral Siegmeister, assassination of Admiral Michelson. Since you forgot Siegmeister, again, I should have maybe posted these 3 most important things of the episodes to you. Funny note, the blurry text in the book about Admiral Siegmeister that Yang is reading is describing what computers can do, like play chess and solve difficult calculations. I think there's even a line about the year 1950 or something. More confusingly, it's not like in line, like the whole page or both pages. The pages break in half for some reason mid-line, so some of the lines aren't like in line with one another. So I'm probably wrong about the whole Ashby being the son of Siegmeister thing. Considering, based on my timeline of events, Siegmeister defected only 2 years before Ashby and the 730 Mafia graduated. Is it possible he got planted into the school to form a backstory? Sure. Does that seem likely? No.
That he defected with his son or his family?
That's what
No.
So I was just
Not
implying.
unheard of.
Well,
Yeah, not unheard of.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I was just implying, that he defected, got his son put in school just nearest to graduation. But we know the 730 Mafia was a thing at the school. So I don't think you imagine making a friend group like that in like well, I guess if it was a TV show. But it would be specifically a TV show about that.
Mm.
Hey, my name's Dawson. What is this, a creek?
Yeah.
Around here we call it a crick. Southernisms. I have to explain. I realize that most of our audience is one, Japan, or two, the Philippines, might not understand the difference between a creek and a crick. Which there isn't one, by the way. Because
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of explaining it. It's
an aphorism, yeah.
well, I don't know. It's I would say slang. Slang isn't the right word. Accent. It's accent.
Accent.
Interesting note: Christoph von Michelsen was assassinated in the same year that John Drinker Cope died at the Battle of Planitia. Doubt the two things have any connection. Just one of the crossovers of timeline events, that two different segments of this mystery that haven't been directly told to us.
Stuff that happens.
Yang's theory that Bruce was getting fed information on the Empire by Siegmeister's intelligence network via the Michelsen connection inside the Empire falls apart for me only in so much that the depiction of Bruce that we've been given thus far isn't someone that makes long-term plans, but rather someone that acts in the moment-to-moment. Granted, we also saw him dictate that a portion of his fleet circle around behind the Imperial formation at Tiamat long before it was ever needed, which would imply long-term information about how the Imperial lines would move, but a lot of it was split-second timing, it felt like.
I mean, on the other hand, if he had good intel on the personalities of the commanders of the enemy and their overall plan, combined with his tactical brilliance, that would win the day.
Maybe, but that turns him into an inhuman character in my mind. I'm going to say this, I'm going to say my last thought here. I have another thought. I'm going to say what my last one is to put that into perspective. In the description of the portion of the battle of the Second Battle of Tiamat that Admiral Kozel died in, Christoph says 60 admirals died in 40 minutes. That's essentially an admiral dying every 40 seconds.
Little.
So, I mean, going back into what you just said about him having information about the personalities of all the admirals and everything like that, that was just 40 minutes of this multi-day battle, and 60 admirals died. And you imagine knowing who to target and when to target them?
True. You may have already killed the people that you were thinking you're fighting.
Well, I just mean the memory involved. And remembering all these people's personalities. And, like, we're just talking about 60 of them in less than an hour in a multi-day battle. Plus, some ships have multiple admirals on them for some reason. Anyway, final thought here. So, on Mazet, the store clerk mentioned that the experienced store manager, had been drafted by the military. That's the first time we've heard of the draft being a current thing going on.
Again, shortness of limitations of resources comes up again.
Well, just before that, we've experienced basically Yang's willingness to go to the military academy because he had no money, but it didn't seem like anybody there was like, no, I'm not going to get fucking drafted. You know, nobody was like putting up a fight. They were all there willingly and happily. It also seemed like.
Well, an academy's for officers. When you get drafted, it's for, usually non-coms,
Well, no, I'm talking about the scene where he's talking to the woman at the desk where he's trying to find out what studies are available to him. Yeah, that he's not at the academy. He is at, like, I don't know, some pre-academy phase where he's determining where he's going to go. It's like I know it wouldn't be like a drafting office or a recruitment office, but it was still some sort of government authority that all directed him towards the military. So, well, I mean, I guess that's all of my thoughts. Yeah, sure you don't have anything else?
Nope.
All right, then. I guess there's nothing left to do but to get on into it.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
It's funny to me now. I just started watching Banner of the Stars again. Finished it off. I'm like 2 episodes from the end. Well, 1 episode from the end of Banner of the Stars. 1 episode away from the pre-OVA thing that comes after that.
Yeah.
But they also kind of have this shot of the galaxy thing. I just commented on it just last night when I was recording Banner of the Stars 3, episode 1. The confusing bit about, am I watching Legend of Galactic Heroes? Am I watching Banner of the Stars? Am I watching Macross Frontier?
Soul in space.
Well, again, it's the shot of the galaxy. I guess the difference here is this obviously goes to this shot. Frontier instantly, switches over to a shot of the ship or inside what's happening to the characters. Banner of the Stars has like a sweeping like particle effect thing. Banner's more like Legends in that it has a, I don't want to say classical score, but more of an instrumental score. Doesn't have words like Legend of Galactic Heroes does. Not that I'm much focused on the words. I really just missed the intro music to DNT. It's a good song. We Didn't Learn is always what I remember from the lyrics of DNT.
The tragedy of war.
Well, because it also has like a mainline theme of some like 80s song that I can't remember.
We didn't start that.
It's from the soundtrack of Mannequin. That's on top of my head.
I know the movie. I don't remember the song. Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, it kind of has the theme to that. The stopover planet, by the way. Not even where he was supposed to go. No, in fact, his wish was to die on Iconia. He said it many times.
But
and now back to the scene of the death. Boom, I was going to call that. I wasn't sure, though. It's not a joke, by the way. He does a thing with his neck like he can't start breathing. You see him investigating his arms. I was like, oh, this looks like a heart condition. My favorite summer
corpse
camp.
accommodation. Yeah, corpse accommodation camp.
That was the name of my boot camp. Stop playing on your DS. I mean, he was certainly the best character of the arc, I feel like.
そう言われましても この時期ホテルはどこも満杯で。
夜露だけでもしのげればいいんですがね。
そうですね。あ、空港の土木作業員の宿舎でよかったら今は空いてますね。みんな休暇で帰ってしまっているから。
少佐のお名前を出せばホテルの豪華な部屋を無理にでも用意してくれたんでしょうが。
そういうのは
But look at all this storage.
でしょうな。とりあえずハイネセンに連絡を取ってみます。
So they sleep on the hard luggage, I guess?
No, there was 2 beds on
Oh.
the left-hand side of the screen. See?
ダメです。統合作戦本部も国
Oh,
防
okay.
委員会もメッセージが流れるだけで誰も出ません。のんきなもんでこんな時に帝国が攻めてきたらどうするんでしょう。
So he called to another planet and he got an answering machine. I love that detail. Like, hey, what's up? He calls after the beep.
これを見た人は直ちに50件の家へ電話してください。実行した人はさらに不幸に
So
な
a
れます。
chain letter answering machine?
相変わらずユーモアのセンスがないですね。そちらへ戻る途中で。
I mean, if you believe in luck, that'll fuck you up.
戻り次第連絡をください。連絡先は。
キャゼルの中佐という方はさすがに手際がいいですな。連絡が取れた翌日にはこうして埋葬
Plus, the dude's like organizing a wedding.
まあね。
遺品の方は
I mean, he's what? Well, his bride to be is organizing the wedding.
You don't know that. We don't
We
know
don't. Yeah.
how the future works. Maybe men care about more weddings more in this society.
その決定をじいさんどう思ってますかね。
Well, not much now.
終わりました。これでよろしいでしょうか。
クリストフ・フォン・ケーフェンヒラー。帝国歴408年から同
Wait a second. You said he died when he was 71 years old.
少佐がこれを
Top of my head, that says 72 years old. It's the fucking math of the show keeps throwing me off. They'll say, oh, it was 1 year later they did this. And then they'll state a year. And it's like, oh, that's 2 years ago.
Oh, he made it in German, so. But it seems in the Alliance they speak in English. Because, you know,
Christoph was
Japanese.
Imperial.
Yeah, so he knew enough German to.
So keep that in
Oh, yes.
mind. Because remember, Castella was stealing 300,000 dinar. And now the only point of reference we have on the value of a dinar is 150 extra to get your epitaph written in German. That wasn't even a minute's silence.
Oh, and they're yet in another planet, and there seems to be snow here. I guess every planet is coordinated with Earth somehow.
I don't know that was snow.
It kind of looked like snow.
Yeah, if there was snow, it was snow on anything else. Could have just been sunlight reflecting.
本来ならこれほどの日にちを要する旅程ではないのだが、マスジットで予定が狂ったのがたたって直行便に空席がなかったり、航路の状況が悪化して欠航したりと悪条件が重なり、時間を大きく浪費させられたのであった。
People in my hands like, move, please.
Yeah, stop doing that movie thing.
世話になったね、大尉。
いやー、こちらこそまたご一緒に仕事ができれば嬉しいですな。
He's only been with us a fourth, maybe less than that, of the run so far.
Yeah. But if I like, oh, maybe we'll see each other again and work together again. I wonder if that's gonna happen.
I mean, you already proposed that as the thing that a bunch of these
Yeah.
people we're gonna see again. I mean, as a
One way or the
backstory
other.
thing, I'd hope so.
なんだ、迎えに来てくれたのか。男で残念でしょうがね。
He's still a
カゼ
cadet?
ルヌ先輩に頼まれまして。
Well, he was a cadet at the funeral a couple months ago.
Yeah. I thought he was in his last year, though.
Well, even then, it was still only a couple months ago.
いや、
Yeah.
感謝で手料理をご馳走してくださるそうですよ。手料理？おお、いよいよ婚約者殿のお披露目か。ええ。それでキャゼルヌ先輩は前の感謝から引っ越されたんですよ。結婚に備えて。そこで小生が新しい感謝への案内がてらお出迎えに上がった次第で。どうぞ。
Yeah, that door looks dangerous if it just automatically closes.
I mean, it's probably got a
Motion
pretty
sensor,
soft.
yeah,
Well,
or
I would
just-
say a pretty soft motor.
婚約者は上官のお嬢さんですって。
But it's not gonna swing down at you. I assume it's gonna slow close with like a hydraulics.
And self-driving cars.
だった。うん。とっくに退役して今は在郷軍人会の事務をしている人だと聞いた。それを聞いて安心しましたよ。キャゼルヌ先輩に限って出世のために上官の娘を嫁にもらうようなことはしないと思ったんで。当たり前だ。ところでどうだい？士官学校の雰囲気は少しは変わったかい？1年半かそこらではそうそう変わりませんよ。学生も教官も
Oh,
い
there
い
you
やつ
go.
と気に食わないやつとが半々です。あ、そういえばあの口やかましいドーソン教官がやっと転任しますよ。おお、そいつは
I don't
お前さんにと
remember
っては
Dawson.
めでたいことじ
I
ゃな
don't
いか。
believe they're on the board.
No.
ちっともめでたくありませんよ。俺の卒業と同時なんだから、任官した部署に奴が上官としてでかい面をしていたら、俺の軍人生活は暗黒の出発点です。ものは考えようさ。終着点が暗黒より、その逆の方がマシだろ。
That's the thing, gang. We all end in darkness.
Yeah, doesn't it say that? Yeah.
同盟軍の不幸ですよ。奴は敵襲の寸前でも兵士の食事のカロリー計算のコンマいくつの数字が間違ってるとか気にしてるに違いないんですから。あんな奴の下で戦うなんて考えただけでおぞましい。お前さんがそれ以上に出世してこき使ってやればいいさ。今から気にしていたんじゃ疲れるだけ損だぞ。出世ですか？それこそドーソンみたいなのが出世する今の同盟軍の体質じゃ。
I just can't help it. You've themed your entire outfit on your hair color.
私でさえ少佐になれたんだ。
I mean, the outfit is probably just standard. His hair just happens to match it.
大丈夫さ。
Old man gray.
いや、ほら、前にお前さんと組んだ戦術シミュレーションの成績は良かったじゃないか。特に負け戦の時に逃げながら追撃する相手の戦力を削いでいる
No one can run away like you can.
できない手際だった。よく覚えているよ。あんまり褒められてる気がしないんですが。そうかな。まあ、あんまり上に反発しすぎて睨まれないようにしていればなんとかなるさ。お前さんなら私のようにまぐれを期待しなくても実力でやっていけるだろう。上官を殴って英曹入りって可能性の方が高そうですね。どうも子供の頃から軍人の悪口を聞かされて育ったもので、偉そうにしてる軍人にはつい反感を持ってしまうんですよ。
In case you were wondering how the car was driving itself.
親父にですよ。
Yeah.
親父さん、何をやってる人だっけ？ジャーナリストなんですが。
I legit thought we were gonna see it because the car was gonna start fucking up or something.
ジャーナリストの立場からは軍の悪いところもたくさん見えるだろうからね。いや、俺も最初はそうかと思っていたんですがね。そもそも俺に士官学校に入りを勧めたのは親父なんです。なんで士官学校に？親父はいつも軍人の悪口を言ってたじゃないか。息子よ、よく聞け。これには深い事情があるのだ。
I don't want you here.
私が母さんと結婚しようとした時、母さんの父さん、つまりお前のおじいさんに大反対にあってな。
Your mother's father, in other words, your grandfather.
Grandfather.
We really needed to waste some time, didn't we?
それが、まあ聞け。俺はじいさんと100回以上の口論と3回の殴り合いの末、ついに母さんと
And 3 fist fights.
認めさせたのだ。それは
So you beat up your father-in-law in order to marry your daughter. That's classic. Or he beat you up.
ところが次々に生まれた3人の子供は皆女の子だった。失望を重ねたじいさんは退役を目前にして帝国軍との戦いで戦死してしまった。その10ヶ月後初めて男の子が生まれた。私と母さんはじいさんの生まれ変わりと信じてじいさんと同じ名前をつけた。
Well, how many sisters does he have?
それがお前だ、ダスティ。
More than one,
それ
apparently.
がお前だって。いやはじいさんの遺言なんだ。じいさんが生きていれば逆らって喧嘩することもできるが、相手がこの世にいなくてはどうにもならん。
Well, now he's dead. You don't have to follow his wishes unless your wife is going to divorce you or something.
すると親父は最初
No, I mean, he was implying it's his final wish.
Yeah, I know, but it's your family. Unless your wife is going to go like, I'm going to divorce you if you don't follow my father's last wish. You know.
そんなことを言うとじいさんが化けて出るぞ。化けて出るなら親父に対してだろ。俺がたたられたり恨まれたりする筋合いはない。なあダスティ、夢と未練を残して死んでいった老人を哀れとは思わんのか。だったら親父が軍人になればいいだろう。俺の知ったことじゃないや。
I mean, the guy who's telling us the story is currently a cadet in the military, so
ガウハって軍人にならないとしたら、死んだじいさんも生きてる両親も不幸になる。だがお前が軍人になればお前一人が不幸になるだけで周囲はみんな幸福になれるんだ。差し引き大きなプラスでめでたしめでたしじゃないか。
huge plus to
そのくらい
who?
の道理がどうしてお前には分からんのだ。分かってたまるか。
That doesn't make any sense at all.
だってお前はいつの間にそんな非常な人間に育ったんだ。父さん悲しい。
Oh, what a bastard.
するな。うっとしい。
Reminds me of the anime Beelzebub, where the main character's dad has the special move of running and jumping into a groveling position.
運悪く士官学校は受かったのに大学の方落ちちゃいましてね。それで仕方なく士官学校に入ったんですが、そのくせ親父の方は相変わらず。
So actually, you did enter not because your father pleaded, because you failed the exams at the other places.
兵役があるし、嫌だったら適当な時期に退役してしまえばいいんだし。そうなんですがね、さらに後日談があるんです。ん？士官学校の入学の時に親父がお守りだと。
It goes to a basement that I just can't find.
どんなご利益があるんだい？それは
Legitimately, I've never watched more than like 2 seasons of Attack on Titan, so I don't know what the key goes to.
花嫁の父って例のダスティじいさん？
Yes, he meant your grandfather. He didn't marry someone else.
No, no, I didn't mean your grandfather. I meant your mother's father. Wait, what?
これが何でも一度など胸のポケットに入れておいたら銃弾を受け止めてくれたそうだ。それに
If that was true, wouldn't there be like a bullet mark on it or something?
Yes.
ついこの間もお前の大学不合格をこの鍵に祈ったら見事に願いが叶った。
Stop fucking wishing for things.
Dude, don't do that.
このクソ親父。いずれにしてもひどい親父ですよ。
Yeah, he deserved to get punched in the face for that. Oh, I wish you failed so you do exactly what I want you to do. Yeah, thanks, Dad.
だけど親父さんの言う通りだよ。相手が生きているからこそ喧嘩もできる。私なんか。
You know, I hate that it's like, oh, well, they're living. You're gonna regret when they're dead. I'm regretting them while I'm alive. That's not a good
Well, no,
argument.
his point is that his dad's dead, so he can't get into a fight with his dad.
Yeah, but still, it's the kind of argument. It's like, oh, you should appreciate what your father did, even though it was an asshole move.
そうでもないさ。なんやかや言って、お前さんのジャーナリスト志望も親父さんの影響なんだろ？いや、それを認めるのも尺なんですがね。で、その鍵、何かご利益はあったのかい？士官学校に入ったばかりの頃、門限破りをした時、こいつを握りしめていたら、当直の上級生が見て見ぬふりをしてくれましたよ。ん？そんなこともあったな。そういえば、あれがお前さんとの出会いだったな。幸運を呼ぶ鍵ってのもまんざら嘘じゃないかもしれません。どうかね。
I don't think
They
we're
don't
going to
have a-
solve the Michelson Siegmeister thing.
Yeah.
Given the amount of time we've spent on Dusty.
Yeah. Also, they seem to have a bit of a same face syndrome there, except for the freckles and the different color hair. But it happens. It's anime. You know, you gotta.
Dusty doesn't have black eyes.
こちらはオルタンス
Sorry
ベルベ
to-
ール
They're all blondes.
もうすぐキャゼルの夫人になる
And they're living together already?
Yeah, no, they said that.
Yeah.
In preparation for their married life.
はあどうもいえこちらこそそのヤン・ウェンリです。
ダスティ・アッテンボローです。両先輩にはお世話になりっぱなしです。
すみません。空港から直行だったので。
Okay, it's very interesting. Yang's first name is wenli. So but he uses the East Asian pronunciation. But Dusty, of course, English. It's in English, so he uses the Western first name patronym.
I'm used to calling him Yang Wen Lee, so
yeah.
That's why I call him Yang.
軍隊や士官学校の生活で食事とは空腹を満たし栄養が
And to be fair, that would only be confusing if his dad was still alive.
いつしか味覚も鈍化させられていたのではないか。ついそんなことを考えさせられる。
Damn, these guys eat like it's nobody's business.
今日から好物になりました。
Damn, dude.
早い者勝ちです。
先輩を差し置いて、だいたい今日は誰の色会だ？
俺は食べ盛りなんです。第一食い物には先輩も後輩もありません。
さてそれじゃあお前さんの話を聞こうか。
俺は席を外しましょうか。
柄にもなく気を利かせんでいい。でどういうことが具体的に分かったんだ。
Well, now back into the mystery.
Well, your bank account's going to be short 300,000.
Yeah.
これは私が調べたことではなく、ケーフェンヒラー大佐が調べ、推理したことです。私はそれを私なりに再構成してみただけだということを断っておきます。結論から先に言うと、ケーフェンヒラーはジークマイスターとミヒャールゼンが銀河帝国内にスパイ網を作っており、ブルース・アッシュビーはそこからもたらされた情報をもとに戦果を上げていた。そう考えたようです。
しかしその帝国側の二人の提督はなぜそんなこと
Yeah, why Bruce Ashby?
彼らは民主共和制に共感していて、そのために自分たちが属していた国家を裏切ったのか。
ジークマイスターという人の場合はそうらしいですね。
Well, he defected, so clearly, yeah.
原因はマルティン・オットー・フォン・ジークマイスターという人物が内務省社会秩序維持局の官僚の息子として生まれたことにあるのかもしれません。
表現は難しいと実感しながら順を追って話し始めるヤンであった。ジークマイスターとミヒャールゼン、そしてブルース・アッシュビーと730年前。
But that was a story for another time. So if you do that in the Conan voice?
Yeah.
I mean,
So
one
finally-
more episode, so...
Yeah, well, finally we get the solution, I guess. But I don't think it's even if we get the whole connection. I don't think it's going to amount to much of anything.
I don't... Well...
Because
sure,
ultimately,
if telling us how things happened 60 years ago and everyone's dead doesn't amount to much, then sure. But I think you're gonna like upset a lot of, I don't know, Civil War historians and World War One specialists and.
Yeah, but the thing is that this is supposed to be he was the okay. I'm studying too much. The issue was that if he could discover this great scandal, that's why he was, so successful, and he was a fraud, maybe. But the fact that if he had access to intelligence, That's how you do things. Like, I know things. I use the intelligence. I win battles. That's what the intelligence is for. Therefore,
No, they said that.
he would. So
They've literally said that would make
Yeah.
Bruce Ashby an even better commander if he was actually getting intelligence and analyzing it to win his battles.
So it's the
I
opposite
thought you
of
were going to
whatever.
go more on the facet that has nothing to do with your investigation of was Bruce Ashby murdered. I mean,
Well,
it's
no.
not that it has nothing to do with it. It's just let me elaborate into a 20-minute monologue at the very least before I tell you, was he murdered? Was it an accident?
No, I think he was. I mean, the battle was specifically fought to kill him.
Well, no, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
The second battle of
I think
Tiamat wasn't specifically to kill Bruce Ashby.
Well,
That'd be
I mean,
a hell of
they-
a thing. Thousands
No,
of
they-
people died.
they did
Literally,
say
hold
there's
on,
like-
hold on.
ヤンはケーフェンキラーが残した資料をもとに第二次ティアマト海戦の裏の事情を再構成する。ブルース・アッシュビーとクリストフ・フォン・ミハールゼンを軸にした帝国と同盟にまたがる巨大な謀略とは何だったのか。次回銀河英雄伝説外伝スパイラルラビリンス第14話出口を探す旅。人は歴史を
Said everyone at the theater.
人は歴史を語り継ぐ。
No, the second battle of Tiamat wasn't specifically to kill Bruce Ashby. That would be It's literally the largest military engagement in the history of the Alliance. You'd think they would give all of these men, all of these ships, the largest amount ever recorded in the Free Planets Alliance to protect this one guy.
And not to protect him.
But you're saying the entire battle was to kill him. So you're
Yeah, from
implying that the entire Imperial forces showed up just to kill him, and that he showed up to do what? Not die. That is a weird battle layout. We're not here to take the system. We don't care about the Star Zone. We're here to kill Bruce Ashby. Why did you guys show up? Well, I guess I had to be somewhere. Fight had to happen somewhere. No, it's clearly the battle would have been to take the Tiamat Star Zone. I'm not saying there couldn't have been an Imperial directive to kill Bruce Ashby. I'm just saying that's not what the battle was for.
Musenberger, he promised his uncle that he...
You cannot remember this guy's name for the life of you, can't you?
No, Muckenberger.
Muckenberger. Busenberger. What's this guy's
Whatever.
name?
He promised his uncle had promised that he would kill Ashby. He died before he was like, I'm going to keep my uncle's promise. And in fact, trying to do that, he actually died in the process.
You also
He was one of the
recognize
first
that he wasn't the one in charge of the operation, though, right?
True.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was in a position to even try.
That's what I'm saying. There might have been a directive to kill Bruce Ashby if possible, but that wouldn't be the reason for the fight. Right? This is like Gettysburg, right? That there might be internal dialogue, or not internal narratives between the animosity between two generals and everything like that. But we're not at Gettysburg to make sure that one general kills another general. There's a greater picture at play. And it just so happens that we're not focusing on the greater picture of why the Second Battle of Tiamat happened. We're focusing on the internal narratives. This is the gods and generals of the Gettysburg battle. It's a movie, by the way. Apparently it's not very good. I didn't watch it, and I also I've seen Gettysburg, but I barely remember it. In that I think I was asleep through parts of it. No, I think like my dad was watching Gettysburg, and I was in the room, and then I was like awake and asleep for parts of it.
I saw it. I saw the whole thing. It has some good parts.
I'm assuming they're the fighting parts.
No, there's also some good drama as well. Interactions between, and some good acting. What's his name?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No. The father of the
Arnold
Stebbins
Schwarzenegger.
brothers. No. Martin Sheen is in it. He plays Lee.
I instantly ran out of people with thick accents. I was going to think would be funny. Oh man, I can't wait to see General Lee played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Stonewall Jackson played by Jean-Claude Van Damme. Sherman wasn't there. I don't think. I'm pretty sure he wasn't there. He would have been doing his March to the Sea during the same time, I believe.
No, he was out in the West.
I don't think
March
he
of the
went
Sea would be-
west until after the war, because that's when he's doing the.
No, I mean the West. Okay, the Western. Because
If that would have been during the war with the Indians.
Story time. The
So there
Union
I was in front of my time machine.
The Union had a plan called Plan Anaconda, which basically was to encircle the South and cut it off. The West would be the Mississippi River. The River.
Near that creek.
From New Orleans, right, from the sea all the way to the Ohio River Basin. That would be the linchpin. So that's where Sherman and Grant were at, those battles. And then on the east, where Gettysburg happens. It happens in not in Pittsburgh. What's the state? Pennsylvania. That's where it happens because Lee was raiding into Pennsylvania to put pressure on the North to partly get a peace agreement, right? Before the war was over.
That's what they say about Lee. He was always trying to get a peace.
But he failed, partly because he decided to fight a battle at Gettysburg, which shouldn't have. But yeah, no, probably he would. I think
Vicksburg,
Sherman,
apparently.
Yeah, Sherman was at the siege of Vicksburg, and Grant was somewhere else. I don't remember where it was.
I don't care. Sherman is like the only one I ever really paid attention to, and not really all that much. I don't know that much about the Civil War, other than South Carolina specific shit. You know, Monitor and Merrimack, first submarine. I guess naval sub. That's what I was gonna. Well, because I have most of my education in Maryland. And Maryland didn't teach that much about the Civil War in the early education system. And then I come down here and I learned those things.
Yeah. Well, technically, the first American submarine was a turtle during the American Revolutionary War, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah, sorry, I put it into the context of the Civil War for no good reason. Although there is the Civil War submarine. Yeah, the turtle was just like a fucking barrel. We're gonna sneak up and we're gonna drill a little thing that we can put an explosive in, and then we're gonna turtle away. Turtle.
Yeah. Nearly worked.
Well, I mean, it was less deadly than the Civil War submarine, which just killed crew after crew. I think there was only one. Well, yeah. Well, they had to train to die because that's what everybody got into that fucking thing did. I think there was only one turtle. What am I thinking? Is it the Hundley? Is the Hundley the submarine?
The Hundley, yeah. Yeah, but the Hundley was it had the torpedo stuck to the bow, so it had to ram targets in order to attack.
Yeah, it was basically a tube where everyone did the turny crank thing, but it also had you ran out of oxygen. Also, it was really prone to sinking. Like you said, I don't think anybody. I don't know how many people did survive the Hundley, but the majority didn't. And by survive the Hundley, I mean being inside the goddamn thing.
Yeah. Anyway, again, this episode sort of takes its time, and let's have a story about Dusty, and let's talk about the old man. It's like, oh, we got here. Okay. Oh, we have a thing with soldiers eat a lot of food because they're used to bad food, so when they get good food, they just double it up. Oh, yeah, by the way, the thing I learned was the end.
Well, it follows the theme of what's been going on so far, which is 1 to 2 episodes having nothing to do with what we're doing. Or the premise that's been given to us. Because obviously, the first couple of episodes had nothing to do with the mystery because we weren't introduced to it yet. But, it's going to play itself out here right to the very end.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least it's not going towards what I thought, which was going to be we're going to get to the next arc sort of thing and not know. So next time it's going to be the wrap up of Spiral Labyrinth, and then we're going to go into a different arc, which is only going to be 4 episodes long, and have a different
character
story. Well, I don't know that for sure, but I know it's going to be a different story because chronologically it has to.
Yeah,
I hope it's going to be a different character because I hope my guy shows up. Because we spent 14 episodes dealing with the fact that Yang doesn't really give a shit. Also has black eyes, according to his identification card. Which, again, is impossible.
What do you mean it's impossible to have black eyes?
Biologically, you can't have black eyes.
The iris, it can be black. Black, brown, yellow, green, blue.
Okay. Give me a source real quick of anybody who has had biologically black eyes. Goddamn, I know you're gonna give me some genetic freak that had actually black eyes.
No,
but genetically you cannot have black eyes. That's why I said this before. It is impossible to have black eyes.
I mean, dark brown, I suppose.
That would be dark brown. That's different from black. Said nobody in the South during the Civil War. But anyway. Alright, just trying to bring it full circle.
I said you may exhibit a wide spectrum of colors.
I appreciate that. Literally, if I Google, I don't know what words you're looking up. Mine was, "Can you have black eyes?" And one of the very first responses is a video titled, "Why Can't You Have Black Eyes?" and Other Body Facts. You know, other than the Search Labs AI thing saying, no, people can't have black eyes.
Anywho.
While some people may appear to have irises that are black, they don't technically exist. So even if you think you have black eyes, you don't exist.
I guess.
I'm just saying, you can't have black eyes.
Man.
It's not a thing.
Well,
Also,
sci-fi.
if you look at, if you look at Yang's eyes, they're not black. They're like some weird shade of blue. Not weird shade, they're just a shade of blue of some sort.
Anyway, not very important at all.
I mean, it is. I feel like it is. Well, it implies you can't trust the text on shit that's written in the show. You might think you're reading a biography of a guy who is creating a intelligence network inside the Imperial. It turns out it's just describing to you how important computers are.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's fluff, so.
Yeah. God, I can't wait till we watch a show that gets past that. It's not gonna be this one. This one stops in the 90s, late 90s. Look, I've watched plenty of shows on this channel where you can stop and read shit in the background, and it means something. Like, I miss those valuable days. You haven't gone through the shit in Seed, because we're speeding through it, where I pause to read something, and it's literally news articles that I can then take that text, put it into Google, and find the source.
Yeah, but how relevant are they to the story? That's
not at all.
There you
Look,
go.
I'm reading the biography of the main character, Kira Yamato. Kira Yamato is a genetics company based in... What? All they did was word replace the name of the company with Kira.
Yeah.
And also the years are, in the past. Not to the show, to us. Anyway, I guess if that's all we got, then all we can do is speed on through to the next one. So once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stone-Faced Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?